Francis, obviously a huge fight here coming up here on Saturday. One of the big things you did in between fights is you've moved to Las Vegas and using the Performance Institute. How much of a benefit has that been ahead of this fight?
It was very beneficial to me because, you know, some big move like this, sometimes you move and then you need to find gym, other stuff, and then I didn't do that because the Performance Institute was already there, it was closed, and then he helped me a lot with people in the Performance Institute at the UFC too, who was really open to help for the workout, for my move, yes, so. Yeah. That was very beneficial for me.
And what's sort of been the biggest difference from living back home and living in America? It's obviously a bit of a culture difference.
First of all, you know, in France, MMA is not recognized. So when in France, we need some facility, like national facility, but we need to ask that like a favor to go there one time each month, something like that. And then, we have our own, you know, we have our own for fighter, and then you feel very grateful as a fighter. They recognize you and respect you like a fighter. That was something who helped us. I mean, all the UFC fighters, yes, to show that we are athletes. We are not just like a fighter than someone thought. Yes.
You mentioned on stage that you want to be known as a smart fighter, and that's what's important. Does it bother you that when people talk about you, they talk about speed and power always?
No, nothing bothers me at all. Speed is technique. Yes, speed is to be smart because every fighter in this division has the power. So to bring something different, something which is very difficult to have, is speed. Everyone can go to the gym, work on his power, but everyone can't work on his speed because it's something very technical. Yes, and then we've been working for that since a couple years ago.
Francis, where do you feel your advantages lie in the matchup with Alistair?
My advantage with the matchup with Alistair, first of all, I think I have a good motivation. I have a lot of people behind me. I have a lot of, I have my personal goal, something that I grew up with. I have my background, you know, something that I don't want to leave again. I have my family back home who I want to help. I have people back who waiting for me. They rely on me. So I really feel at some point I feel like that is an obligation to me to do that more than my goal. So there are many things collect together who push me. And then after that, yes, I own the power record, and then I've probably the faster one than Alistair Overeem, and yes, I really believe that I'm the best, and I will prove that I'm the best.
You've gone back to Cameroon a couple times after your previous fight, so are you going to go back again after this one?
I don't know yet. I'm looking forward to make. I've been like 10 months without fight, so I'm looking forward after this. If this fight, if I am injury free after this fight, I'm just looking forward to next fight, maybe a couple of weeks or a few months.
Do you feel like Alistair's going to take this fight to the ground at all, just with the fact we haven't seen you tested on the ground?
To be honest, whatever he thinks, that is not a problem for me. That doesn't matter for me. I'm ready for whatever he brings to me, and I will take the first opportunity that he will give me.
And do you feel like a win here will get you a title shot next? Because you're undefeated. I mean, you've done everything you need to do.
That one will probably give me the title shot. Because I'm the contender number 4. Behind me, I have Ken Velasquez, Fabricio Verdum, Alistair Overeem, and Fabricio Verdum and Alistair Overeem already fought and lost against Stipe. Ken is injured, so I'm just the right one. Basically, after beating Alistair Overeem, I'll probably be the contender number 1, and that would be legit.
Do you think, with all that said, because those other contenders have already fought Stipe before, the UFC maybe thinks it's in their best interest to have you win this fight?
No, not just because I deserve it. I'm contender number 4, and Alistair is contender number 1. After beating, what should be my ranking?
Yeah.
In your advice? So
take a spot.
Probably the number 1, and then I'll get right to the title shot. It will be I'm on a 5 straight win, so this one will be my 6th straight win. So I deserve it.
And for someone like yourself, it's been 10 months off. That's almost a quarter of the time you've been fighting professionally. how much does a 10-month break allow you to improve? Like, do you consider yourself a significantly different fighter than the one we saw in January?
Yeah, of course. I'll be different than I was in January. I knew this sport 4 years ago, so I still have a lot to learn. And then every day, every single day, I just keep improve myself, still learn, because there are a lot of things to learn. There are a lot of things that I didn't know how to do it or how to deal with it, because I was just new in the sport, and the sport is very large. So this time, every single time helped me to learn.
What did you think of Alistair's last fight against Fabricio Werdum? Dana White wasn't too impressed with it. What were your thoughts on his performance against Werdum?
That fight, I wasn't as impressive too, and then it was very close, even the decision. So that wasn't some fight really impressive, because at the end of the fight, you just think that we thought that the judge is going to decide, because really know who win clearly. There are no one who really dominate the fight.
When you talk about how you're still learning and you've learned so much, was there a point where you felt you'd learned enough that you were ready for these very, very top guys in a title shot?
Yeah, the point that what?
That you felt like you'd learned enough, that you were ready?
I learn about anything. Most of people just say you should learn your ground game, your wrestle, you have a good boxing. But I think that's a mistake, because even boxing, I keep improving. Even boxing, you keep improving. You saw like we look like a fighter like Mike Tyson or Mayweather. There are some fighters who've been boxing for 15 or 20 years, but they keep training and keep improving. So I don't think there are some specific one that I have to improve. I have to improve everywhere.
Knowing that if you win
Last
this
question,
fight,
guys.
you might get a title shot, how does that intensify your training process, especially going up against such a legend in the sport?
Say it again, please.
How does knowing that you'll probably get a title shot with a win here, how does that change the intensity of your preparation process?
The intensity of the preparation process wasn't changed at all. The thing was changed is how to deal with it. It's difficult how to just think about this fight, focus about this fight, and then the other thing after this fight. Yes, because just start talk about title shot, train about title shot, that doesn't make sense. That can make you lose your eye, lose your goal. Move your eyes to your goal. So I'm focused on this fight right now. That this is my goal. This is my title shot. This is my belt. Every single fight. This is how I deal with my fight. Every single fight is the highest one. So I'm focused on that one.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.